We're here joined by Vanessa Ronsisvalle from S&P Global's Commodity Insights. Let's just talk to her and see what are some major trends that are taking place in the petrochemical space. So what are some major trends that you see in this space?
Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for having me. So it's been a great week in India, always a pleasant trip to be here. And I think, the chemical space is really interesting, very dynamic because there's so much discussion around some of the dynamics given black swan situations. The Ukraine war situation, I think, has added another level of complexity to the chemical market globally, not just in Asia. But I think, a lot of discussion that we've had and the understanding and our observation is that, the self-sufficiency and the drives for self-sufficiency and producing manufacturing domestically is really key. It's important, and we see that across Asia and China and also in the Middle East. And so I think there's some interest around diversification and looking at innovation and some technologies by way of developing, the production and the downstream necessary products that are needed by domestic markets. So yeah, really interesting.
Yeah, and how do you see India positioned here? What are some of our strengths maybe, and how can we actually capitalize on, in this interest in the petrochemical space?
So I think it depends on the downstream markets that you plan to focus on. So there is diversification that can be interesting depending on whether you want to manufacture different products. So it could be polyolefins, for example, which is which are plastics. But also you need to think about the energy transition and the recycled polymer investments that and the sustainable investments that companies are placing in that space as well.
Okay. And do you see a timeline as well, because India also wants to become self-sufficient in certain ways, but do you see at least partly by when can India become self-sufficient? Is there a timeline that you have in mind?
So that's a great question because I think that it does depend. If you see the way that China has built up their infrastructure around the production of chemicals, that cycle has taken them a very short space, but 2 years, maybe 3 for some of the big installations that they have. But working from a democratic in a democratic society, I think it can take longer, of course, because there are different elements that you need to consider around these things. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you so much. That was insightful talking to you. Thank you for giving us time. Thank you.
If you like the video, do like, comment, share and subscribe.